People believe, I think, that the traditional mechanisms for getting things done have just broken down.
Tired of big banks taking our homes, robbing us blind, putting us in debt.
I want to make sure that the kids coming up, my little girl and all the other little kids in America, are going to have a country where they can live a decent life.
We're not going to settle for it anymore, because America needs to bail out, not the big banks.
You know, there's a threshold that people reach to where they're no longer want what they're prescribed.
I just want everyone to know that I'll be on the streets and I'll be watching over everyone I can, and hopefully you'll be watching over me, and we'll take care of each other, and we're going to see something beautiful happen. So thank you.
There's no real set hardcore organization, which it usually is around protests like this. I think I framed it once like Wall Street seems to occupy us all the time. Like every day our lives are, the Dow goes up, Dow goes down, and it seems like this most important thing. But the truth of the matter is that we never hear how it affects people's lives. And so the idea is that we're going to now occupy Wall Street.
Take away my air conditioner, you'll make it hard for me to sleep. They took away my television, and now I just can't breathe.
People from all walks of life are coming here and just voicing their opinion, voicing their the solutions, and just coming together and checking it out, and it's been a really beautiful thing. Also, we're being a lot more streamlined in our organizing of the event, giving people food. Now we have a gray water system for the kitchen and washing dishes, and we're laying out the space a lot more with more organized campsites and walking paths, and more people are coming representing their own groups or organization or issues and coming and holding space, and it's becoming a beautiful democratic space.
I think one of the most powerful things about what's happening here is that Occupy Wall Street doesn't exist in and of itself in a bubble. It's the latest ray of light in a movement that's clearly catching fire across the globe.
I see this as one of the first times, at least in my opinion, that people of the millennial generation are starting to band together and realize that we can come together and at least receive some attention for what we believe in.
I've never seen this kind of energy on a scale of this size before, so I'm used to working in really small groups, and we all use consensus and understand how to cooperate on a small scale, but this is the first time I've seen it in the hundreds, where all the little groups that use consensus process and are motivated to do good work are here in one space, so it's really inspiring.
And there's actually, if you study social movements, a 4-step process. And so the first thing is to just show up. We're here. That, and it's 4 I's. The first I is identity. We're here. The second is by drawing attention to this group of people and this particular space and these ideas, it does become a media event.
Fucking go! Let her fucking go! Let her fucking go! Let her break it now! Get up!
And so in the coverage of the media event, you start to get to the second I, which is inclusion. We're all part of this. In fact, we are the 99%.
A global outcry against corporate greed has risen up in almost 1,000 cities worldwide. People have taken their anger to the streets, saying their governments have been taken over by big business. The Occupy Wall Street movement began in New York, quickly spreading across the US to Los Angeles, Denver and Washington, among others. It's since gone global, with Asia joining in the demands for change. In Europe too, hundreds of cities are taking part in the protests.
Well, like I said, there's people that can't be in New York, and I was fortunate enough to be able to come here. And I think when people want to show solidarity, that's what happens, is it spreads, and that's that culture of resistance that spreads.
Detroit, I think, is sort of a symbol of what went wrong with America and capitalism and how it was unsustainable the way we've been running it for the last 100 years. You know, we were the first ones to feel the hit of the crisis that everyone's feeling now.
Occupy Detroit, to me, is Detroit finally rallying for what we need and what we believe in.
I feel like the first time I'm part of something bigger than myself.
I think that people can just think more about cooperating and living in solidarity with the people around them so that they meet their needs in a way that benefits them and the community, so we aren't as isolated as we used to be.
It's not going to be monolithic. It's not going to be a monolithic thing. It's not going to be one group that does it. It's going to be multiple acts over multiple locations and regions.
I'm excited about this because for the first time people are talking about the system instead of just the different actors who are problematic. And I'm hoping that we're going to see sort of a renaissance in anti-capitalist thinking come out of this and a lot of new alternatives. And like Caroline, I'm very excited that there are so many people coming out here and people from all over the country, and it's very inspiring, if a little chaotic.
What's happened as the movement has spread across the United States and in fact across the world is getting to the third I, which is influence. And that is the conversation actually about the political scene in America and in many parts of the world has changed because of Occupy.
It began just after 1 a.m. We were there until the early hours of the morning coming in to do this broadcast. We witnessed the arrests in the streets, made it into the square just as police were dismantling the tents as well as sanitation workers and hauling away protesters' belongings in dump trucks.
So the fourth thing is where we're kind of like wondering, is it going to happen? Which is institutionalization. And that is, will laws be created, will structures be put into place so that the ideas that Occupy wants to promote actually get to be part of the system?
A goal I have is that people will start thinking about the system at large and the ways it affects their life personally. So, for example, you can move your money into a credit union so that the money stays in the community and you don't just invest your money in banks that make profit for the sake of profit.
Maybe what we might call the charismatic moment, the fun moment might be over, But if we're talking about real social change and a real social movement, the work has just begun.
I think it's really important to keep actions going, and we're going to start long-term campaigns of actions like foreclosure resistance and eviction resistance.
The thing that needs to happen in my mind is more organization and more people becoming part of the process at different levels.
It needs to be as diverse and as autonomous as possible.
It's really about culture change, and there's an opportunity here to get people thinking about the ways that they interact with each other.
If enough people change their ways individually, the system will change.